So are you up against a wall? Have you hit a wall? A wall is anything that stops you in your tracks from making forward progress. In this video, I'm going to share with you a wall that I experienced in Marine Corps boot camp. And what I learned from this wall has changed my life. I learned two things that have helped me every time I face a wall in my life. These two things have got me through and over that wall. Hi, this is old Mike, old me living better. You know my botto by now. If you ain't dead, you ain't done. I started my YouTube channel at 80 years old. If I can do it, so can you at any age, right? Before I tell you the two things I learned from this experience of conquering this wall, I need to tell you about the wall. This wall was a wall I experienced in Marine Corps boot camp. It was a leaning wall. You had to go over the wall this way. You weren't running up this way. You had to go over it this way. It was really difficult to get over, especially for me because I didn't have upper body strength. And that wall was defeating me every single day that I tried to get over it. So one day I had a drill instructor pull me aside after I had failed for the 100th time not getting over the wall. And he said, "Private, you need to start talking to that wall. You need to tell that wall that you're going to get over it and you're going to defeat it." Well, that was really strange. I'd never done anything like that before. But from that day on in boot camp, I started talking to that wall. And that's point number one of the two things that I learned about getting over or through the walls that hit us in life. The first thing is you got to speak to it. You got to talk to that wall. Too often we let others tell us who we are. Now I got to tell you, that wall told me every day, you're a loser. You're not going to get over me. You're weak. You're a failure. You're not a Marine. You're never going to make it. That's what the wall told me every day. And you know what? I started believing it. I started telling that to myself in my head. I'm believing what the wall is telling me. Do you believe what other people tell you? And do you believe what is going on in your life, the things that are telling you? So from that point on, every day I faced that wall, I said to that wall, "You're defeated. I'm going to get over you." Now, I felt a little silly at first because I had not heard anything about motivational speaking or, speaking your words and all of those things. But I discovered over time there's a lot about the power of the word. Matter of fact, Proverbs 18:21 says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue." Tony Robbins said, "The words you attach to your experience become your experience." Henry Ford, I love this one. He says, "Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right." If I think I can, I'm right. If I think I can, I'm right. Think about that for a moment. The power of your words and what you think determine how you're going to do. Well, every single day until the day that if I didn't get over the wall, here's the kicker. On the last day of boot camp training on the obstacle course, if I didn't get over that wall, I was going to get put back 2 weeks. You don't want to get put back 2 weeks when you're in boot camp, especially Marine Corps boot camp. I had enough of it by that time. But every day I faced that wall and it defeated me. But then on the last day, I faced that wall and I said to it, "Today's the day I'm going to go over you." I ran up to the wall, and during my training, the drill instructors had taught us that there's a way to get over the wall. You swing your legs back and forth until you can hook your boot on the top of the wall. Here's a picture of it in my thumbnail. That Marine's got his foot. He's trying to get it over the top of the wall. But all the time in boot camp, I never got my foot over on the edge of the wall. I never made it that far. So here it is, my last attempt. I run at that wall. I'm talking to that wall. I jump up there, I hang on, I start swinging back and forth, and I couldn't believe it. My right boot hooked on the top of that wall. Matter of fact, I was so excited, I almost fell off. But on that day, I pulled myself up over the wall and I beat the wall. But there's one more important lesson that I've learned about walls, and that is that during the training experience that I had while the drill instructors were trying to get me and teach me how to get over the wall, a lot of my Marine buddies were running around the wall while the drill instructors were occupied with me. And wouldn't you know it, two of those Marines who were good friends of mine that were delighted in me getting chewed out and getting yelled at, they ran around the wall. The problem was they were not trained by the wall. They didn't get the benefit of the exercise and the experience of going over the wall. And they didn't go over the wall on the day that it really counted. And they got put back 2 weeks in their training. So here's the second point that I want to share with you that I think is so important. Number one, you got to speak to the wall. And number two, you have to accept that the wall is there to train you for something more. Every wall in my life, and it seems like I have them about every 10 years, about every decade, it seems like there's some kind of wall that comes up in my life. And I've got through and over every one of them by speaking to them and understanding that that wall is there and it has a purpose to train me, just like it trained me to get over it while my friends did not get over it because they were not trained by it. So, what do I learn from this? Real simple. You cannot advance, you cannot go forward, you cannot grow by running around the walls in your life. Whatever the obstacle, whatever the trial, whatever the wall is that comes up in your life, and maybe they come up every day, every week, once a year, I don't know, every 10 years. But I do know this, that you cannot go forward by running around the wall. So here's the exciting news. Do you know what I discovered? There's something on the other side of the wall. Well, in boot camp, it was an open door to get out of boot camp. But I've discovered every wall in my life, when I have faced it, spoke to it, learned from it, been trained by it, once I get over the wall, there's an open door on the other side. The way to the open doors in your life are getting through the walls and the trials and the things that are facing you every day, every year, every 10 years, whatever. You cannot see the open door because the wall's in front of it. Can I say that again? You can't see the open door on the other side because the wall is in front of it. Once you conquer the wall, you'll see the open door. And some of the greatest things in my life that have ever happened have come in the aftermath of defeating one of the walls in my life. And this is a great principle. It's a principle from the book of James in the New Testament. One of my favorite passages. Count it all joy when you meet trials of all kinds. For you know that the testing of your faith produces endurance or steadfastness. And let endurance have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. The author of this book, James, makes it very clear that the purpose of the trials and the tests and the walls in our life are to produce something. They're to produce endurance or patience or steadfastness. They're to have a result in my life to make me stronger. And by becoming stronger and conquering these walls in my life, then I become more complete. So, as hard as it may be, no matter what you're going through in life right now, whatever wall or trial you're facing, I encourage you to speak to it and understand that it's there for a purpose. And that purpose is that it builds endurance, it builds strength, it builds faith in who you are and what you can do. And on the other side is an open door. Now, if you've made it this far in the video, maybe saying, hey, Mike, old Mike, I've been through a lot of trials, a lot of tests. I have a lot of walls that have defeated me. Well, there's a slogan that I really like, and here's how it goes. The best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. I love this. There's a lot of things I wish I'd done 20 years ago, right? But here's how the rest of this saying goes. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. That's right now. Maybe you have a wall you didn't get over in the past. Maybe it's not too late to get over that wall. Maybe you're facing something right now and you're putting off doing it. I want to encourage you, today's the day. Speak to the trial. Speak to the wall. Understand that there is a purpose, and when you get through and get over that wall, there'll be an open door on the other side for you. So this is old Mike, old me, living better. I hope you were encouraged by this video. I was encouraged doing it, remembering all of the trials, tests, and walls that I've faced in my life. I'm probably going to face more, but let's face them together. Speak to the wall. Speak to the trial. Understand that when you get over it, there's an open door on the other side. Hey, have a great day. I'll see you next time.